Just a minute. Okay, friends. Hello, hello. It's about noontime on the west coast of the United States of America. And Nayaswami Hriman here for, you guessed it, Whispers from Eternity. Beautiful day up here on Camano Island. But I'm going to read to you something that, at least on the surface of it, doesn't qualify for beauty. Okay? This is Paramahansa Yogananda's prayer demand entitled, Dance in Me Thy Dance of Infinity. It's number 175. Here we go. Hang on. O Mother Divine, I have learned to love thy dance of destruction. For I see now that what is destroyed is my own ignorance and folly. Thou hast shattered again and again with thy war dance of destruction my fragile cage of bones and flesh, and consigned it to crematory flames. Thou hast done so smilingly, to show me and everyone that our souls are ever free and cannot be burned or broken. With thy mercy thou hast stripped away, sometimes seemingly with harshness, but always with loving purpose, the countless hardened, mud-encrusted covers of delusion that coated us. I appreciate now thy dance of devastation, Mother. Together let us cremate my every desire, frailty, weakness, and finitude. Forever and ever, I'll join thee laughing in thy dance of evil's destruction. O Mother, since nothing more is left now of my finiteness for thee to destroy, dance in me thy dance of infinity and of cosmic love. Wow. Last Sunday at the service, the talk given by our Acharya Murli Venkatrao, he celebrated Diwali from India, which he said is the most joyful of all the 37 major festivals in India. However, he contrasted with the fact that it takes place on the darkest day in the darkest hour of the year, and contrasted it, the worship of Mother Goddess Lakshmi with Goddess Kali, the goddess of destruction. Our guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, explained the different symbolism behind Goddess Kali with the lolling tongue and the skulls around her neck. And anyway, it's pretty intense for a Christian. But anyway, I realized in a different kind of way that contrast, and why our guru, who brought so much of the essence of Sanatana Dharma, the essence of the teachings of self-realization to America, with very little of the trappings of Orthodox Hinduism, why he continued to worship God sometimes in the form of Goddess Kali, the mother of destruction. We see this as, in the world around us, as the pandemic, a great deal of death and suffering, pain, and illness happening. We see people in isolation, businesses being destroyed. It's like, I prefer to think of Shiva personally, but in any case, Kali is, in some respects, the feminine version of Shiva, and she's just destroying all parts of our habits, really, and our culture. And some of it's sort of sad to see, all the small businesses being destroyed, and then you have other people who are raging because the big businesses of internet mail order are just growing stronger and stronger. It's just a crazy time. To be able to celebrate, first off, I should say, to accept change, and to accept change, which is very often, at least from our standpoint, in our resistance to change, very often is destructive. And the dance of life and death, as this wonderful, really quite beautiful prayer demand suggests, it's beautiful in the cosmic sense, it's not beautiful in the human sense, I grant you, but to be able to see even your own death, perhaps even the death of loved ones, as the great dance of life. The lesson of death is that, death, oh, where is thy sting? And so I'm going to play a few bars of one of my favorite chants. Om Kali, let's see, get this right. Om Kali, Om Kali, Om Kali, Om. Om Kali, Om Kali, Om. I'm not sure how many of us can really celebrate the death and destruction that Goddess Kali is inflicting on our planet right now. That might be a lot to ask. On the other hand, it's been often said by commentators in the West how ill prepared we Westerners or we Americans are to accept the reality of death. And yet it's the final exam, as Swami Kriyananda would like to put it, as he wrote in his book, Religion in the New Age. It's one of the essays in that collection of essays in that book. And so it's a somber topic, at least it is from the human point of view. Destruction of our delusion, the destruction of the fabric of Maya, the illusion of the reality of the body, the five senses of the material world in which we live. This is a necessary step on our ascendancy back to our home in God's infinite bliss. We have to be willing to let go of the baggage. There's this expression, I don't recall its source exactly, but it's as if Divine Mother is extending her hands down to us, and we need only extend our hands up to her, except that our hands are carrying the luggage, the baggage of our resistance, our fear, our desires, our commitment to the world as our five senses tell it to us, or as our culture tells it to us. We are so much more, so much more. Science, at least, if not culture, but science shows us the grand vision of the world, whether in the microcosm of quantum physics or the great macrocosm astrophysics. It's an immense, and for most people, they just can't relate. I understand that. But it's interesting that science is more quickly approaching the Vedantic view, the great vision of reality, far more rapidly than religion, for heaven's sakes. But that's also why the religion, the Sanatana Dharma, the teachings of self-realization, which are not sectarian, are coming out into the world because we're in tune with the grand vision of what is real and what is truth. And so there's another truth I want to touch on, just because I want to touch on it. I'm not sure it bears resemblance to our topic today, but I'm going to say it anywho. Which is that, in religion, and specifically in yoga and self-realization kind of languaging, but, we all want to go to heaven, right? We want to achieve in our lingo, self-realization. We want to achieve oneness with God, cosmic consciousness, samadhi, nirvana, all this stuff. But we don't necessarily understand that when God made the world, he called it good. And just like God, which is infinity and all possibility, is in fact that black hole out of which the bang of the ejaculation of God in making the creation said it was good. Pardon me. But anyway, what we have to understand is we cannot achieve the cosmic vision of the bliss of God until we say it is all good. Like my dear friend Christy Johnston, who during the COVID thing keeps saying, it's all good, it's all good. And it is all good. There are many good things that people are becoming more aware of during this COVID time. But to get back to my point, God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son. That Son of God, that Christ indwelling, that Krishna indwelling is within every atom of creation, dowered as it is with individuality. And we must, in our ascension back to oneness, we must embrace every atom of creation, as Yogananda suggests in his great poem, Samadhi. God so loved the world that he gave his own. The purpose of creation is to unmask the illusion of the creation. It's, strictly speaking, not to destroy it, or not to reject it, I should say, to destroy the illusion with Goddess Kali, yes. But it's not our turning our back on our karma, turning our back on the world's ups and downs. And nor is it to throw our discernment down the toilet, as it were, and just embrace everyone lovingly as if they're all the same. They are all the same behind the illusion, but sometimes you got to be careful who you embrace, if you know what I mean. So, it's a both and. We have to use common sense, intelligence, and yet pierce the veil. It's a tall order. But then, as Jesus said when he was condemned for claiming he was the Son of God, he quoted the Old Testament saying, "Do not your scriptures say, ye are gods?" Let's adopt the God's eye view of creation and laugh with Goddess Kali as she destroys all that is familiar and embrace the loving reality behind all seeming. Tall order, I grant you, but let's try it. Okay, folks, I'm going to sign off now, so bear with me. Hang on. There's always a delay in this broadcast. If I shut you off too quickly, I shut my final words off. So hang on, folks.